Hola a todos. Hello, everyone. I'm Senor Claybaugh, Spanish teacher. I teach Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. I'll mostly talk about Spanish 1 here. But la clase de Senor Claybaugh. Things that we've learned in Spanish 1 so far: the alphabet, numbers, asking and answering a ton of questions. For example, asking and answering, how are you? The date, the time, how to introduce yourselves by saying your name, your age, where you're from, and your birthday and your phone number. Asking and answering all of those things in full sentences. So um, it's been really fun. We're actually going to make a comic book using a lot of these things, most of these things. So that's something that we're about to do. That'll be really fun. I'm excited to do. It's been really awesome to do in the past to create a comic book. And then next unit, that'll be the project we have. Then we'll have a test. And the next unit, we're going to learn a ton of adjectives describing yourself, describing other people, using physical characteristics, personality traits, hair and eye color. And along with that, obviously, is a lot of the colors. So try to make it proficiency based, which means it's using the language, it's being able to speak it, not just having memorized a bunch of memorized things or phrases or things like that. So I'd encourage you to encourage your students, your kids, I guess my students, your students, your kids to use the language. Find places where they can read, write, listen, and speak the Spanish language. So there's a ton of examples. Reading it, writing it, listening to it, speaking it. That's how we learn the language. So ask your students. So with speaking it, ask your students to your kids. I keep saying students. Ask your children to introduce themselves in Spanish to them. Say their name, their age, where they're from, their birthday, things like that in full sentences in Spanish to you. You'll be surprised how much they learned. It's been awesome. This is what we have on the grades. We're daily warm-ups. The first two things actually are the only things on the grade right now, as of towards the end of September 23rd. Getting into closer to October, the stamp sheet and Google Voice will be due. And then the very beginning of October, the next week, first week in October, we're going to have our project, which will be the comic book and a test. So the warm-ups, if they, a couple of them might have it docked. It just means I have noticed that at the beginning of class doing the warm-up, they haven't been doing the warm-up. They haven't been doing it. So they can make that up by actually doing the warm-ups in the future. The vocab quiz is on the grade. If your student would like to, your child would like to retake it, they can retake it. Just let me know. It's best to do it while they're in class here, while I'm there. So after school is best. If not, if you can't come after school, I understand. We'll figure out a time in class, but please just communicate with me if your child, or have them communicate with me if they'd like to retake the vocab quiz, and we'll work that out. Google Voice, let me explain just real fast, is the only homework we have, but I give them time in class to do it. And if not, if they want to do it at home, that's fine. It just takes a few minutes. It's a voice messaging system. They call the number that they've been given. No one should answer. No one can access it. No one can answer it. I go through and access the messages that they leave. So they leave a message saying their name, their class period, and they speak the objectives. The objectives are on a stamp sheet, just a bubbled sheet. But yeah, they speak the objectives. They could do them all in one phone call. They can split them up in different phone calls, either way. Okay? And then the stamp sheet itself, we get it signed off and stamped off and turn that in for a grade as well. Anyways, that's the things on our grades. I'm willing to work with anyone. Please let me know if you have any questions, if you want to make anything up. Always willing to do that. Email me if you have any questions or like to set up a Google Meet. We can do that as well. Gracias.